Hey, it is 12 noon on Wednesday, which means it's time for this week's episode of Ask the Instructor, where this week we're talking about taking an online class versus a classroom course. And whether you're taking your pre-licensing initially to get your real estate license, or you're taking your post-licensing course so you can learn how to grow your real estate business and take your business to the next level, either way, there's online as well as classroom options available. So which one's going to be the best for you? How are these classes working as far as schedule goes? Which format? How does an online class work? Are you doing it all on your own, just kind of reading through material, or are you taking an actual classroom course from home? There's all kinds of different options for, again, either getting your real estate license or completing your post-licensing and renewal requirements. So we're going to be talking about all that and more today. So if you've got a course that you need to take to either start your real estate career or take your business to the next level, strap yourself in because we're going to be breaking down the differences today. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
You are watching Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Chrismo. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time, to cover the technical side of the real estate industry. And we're also here every single Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, for State of Real Estate, where we talk about masterminding to grow your real estate business, to actually have a business that is a business, not just a hobby of practicing real estate. Because even if you do want to do real estate part-time, you don't want to hope that you make money and hope that you figure it out. You want to know that what you're investing into this, that you're able to get a predictable outcome out of it. So that's more of a topic that we cover in our post-licensing courses, business planning, basically structuring a real estate business. But let's say you've got to take your pre-licensing course to get your real estate license. You're brand new to this. Or post-licensing. We have these exact same formats available. So you can take a good old-fashioned instructor-led classroom course. This is going to be done in person. It's scheduled, and there's mandatory attendance. So with this format, this is going to be a great format for anyone that wants to have a predetermined set schedule, so that way they've got basically someone guiding through this. This is, again, instructor-led. So having an actual instructor leading you and guiding you through the course material, helping emphasize what's most important, helping with the general consensus of the class to make sure everyone understands the information. And it's not about knowing and understanding everything there is to know about real estate. It's about knowing and understanding what you need to know to be able to pass your real estate exam. That's not the end of the story, though, because you also have to remember this stuff to be able to pass your real estate exam. You have the greatest instructor in the world, giving the greatest lecture in the world, having the best class ever. And if you don't remember anything from the class, it's still going to be extremely difficult to pass this exam. And yes, we do everything we can to make a memorable experience, but there's a lot of information in these pre-licensing books as well as post-licensing. Post-licensing is overall a much easier course to get through because it's not so focused on laws and rules, at least not with the curriculum we use here at the Tampa School of Real Estate. It's more focused on information to grow your real estate business. So it's information people are usually much more eager and excited to learn. Pre-licensing, however, that's designed to help you pass your real estate exam, to get your real estate license. And in order to do that, there's a lot of laws, a lot of rules, and a lot of basic understandings you need to have about which contracts need to be in writing and signed, how to come up with an adjustment on a property where you're appraising its value, calculating property taxes. There's a lot of different things that you do that are more technical things that you might wonder as you're going through the course, will you always be having to do this in the real world? And you practice real estate long enough, at some point in your real estate career, especially if you practice in different fields of real estate, you'll probably come across almost every topic in that pre-licensing course. But for your day-to-day business, it's a handful of things that are going to be very important for your day-to-day business, and a lot of other information that you need to understand to deem that you're minimally competent by the Florida Real Estate Commission, to be able to pass the exams. So this could be a very complicated and confusing process, which is the beauty of having an instructor lead you through this curriculum and lead you through this content. So that way you don't get hung up on something that's not really too important for your exam. Now, if you're the type of person who is the type of person that wants to research and know everything there is to know about a subject, you might be more of a candidate for our OnDemand class. And this is self-paced and primarily text and interaction based. Sometimes when we say on demand, people think like what you get on your TV set when you get a video on demand, when really we just mean the concept. If you could do this anytime, day or night, there's no schedule. But recently we actually added an additional online format, which is going to be our live stream. So Classroom or live stream, what we did is we took our classroom format and we got it approved to be basically taught virtually. So you could attend our classroom course from your home, your office, another state, another country, anywhere that you've got an internet connection. You could attend one of our virtual classrooms, or if you're in the Tampa Bay area, we actually have live in-person classrooms, or you could even be breathing the same air as your instructor, being in the same room, which it's definitely an experience that some people may prefer as opposed to doing it sitting at home. Now, some of you may prefer not having to get dressed to take the class, whereas some of you need to go into an actual physical place. And look, maybe you're doing our live stream. There's no rule saying you have to do this at home. You could do this at your office. You could do this at the library. You could do this at Starbucks or Panera Bread or wherever it is that they'll let you hang out with your laptop and that you could get a good internet connection. Or again, we have our classroom courses. Now, again, these are going to be instructor-led, so that instructor is there to guide you through this material. And they're doing so in a way that they're focusing again on what's most important for your exams, as well as some important things that are really important for the real world. A lot of times those two concepts overlap. The things that are usually important for the exams are usually important rules you don't want to break in the real world. But there's a few other things that aren't always as important for your exam, but are very important, good things to know for starting your real estate career. And when there's time available, we like to try to work in a little bit of that and talk about that, but primarily, again, the focus is on what you need to know to pass your real estate exam. Now, the on-demand course, what's great about this is, it's a interaction-based type of course. It's not a video-based course like our live stream would be. It's an interaction-based course. So it's gonna be, if you don't want to read, I would not recommend this course. I would still recommend reading some of your textbook, maybe to review this, maybe rereading some of the highlights. You're going to have to read at some point. If you got to read the questions when you're taking the exam, you're going to have to read. So, yes, reading is usually involved to some degree, but this is significantly less reading because this, you're taking in most of the information by reading information. Not like big, long paragraphs or chapters, but you're reading through interactions. There's a lot of question and answer, a lot of matching exercises, a lot of assembling sequences and orders and identifying certain things in images and stuff like that you're going through, that you're actually using this information. And so the problem some people will have with this on-demand course is because it is a self-study, self-paced, non-scheduled type of course, if you don't set aside the time to do this, then this isn't going to get done. Whereas up here, if you show up for class, there's a good chance, at least if you do what your instructor tells you to do, there's a very good chance that you're going to end up passing your exams. The on-demand course, if you don't go in there and take the course, it's not going to get done. And as long as you don't get hung up on that and you actually get in there and work through this, and usually what works best is if you make a habit out of this, to spend maybe an hour a day, half hour a day, 2 hours a day, whatever it is that you could afford to do on a daily basis. Maybe some days that's 2 hours and other days that's just a half hour, but if you make it a point to get in there every single day and work through this, not only will you actually get that course done a lot sooner than you would think you would, but on top of that, you're going to retain the information better because you're not necessarily stretching it out. We do give you 1 year to complete our on-demand courses. Our broker pre-licensing, I think that's actually only 180 days on that. But for most of our courses, it's as long as 1 year that you have. We try to give you as long as we possibly can with our approvals for these courses, but at the same time, that can be also a bad thing, because if you really do stretch these courses out over the entire course of your registration, you end up forgetting a lot of that earlier information, which is still going to be important for your exam. So again, go into this with a plan, and we're here to help you with this here. Even though this is a self-paced, self-study program, you still have instructor support. You get instructor support with either of these. It's just these classes, you have an instructor right in front of you, whereas these, there's no instructor in front of you. It's a, again, self-paced, self-study type of program. But we're still there, either option, with instructor support. So we're just a chat message or phone call away. We've got a team of instructors here, as well as student support specialists to help you with something as simple as just, logging into your account, to something maybe more advanced, like planning out when you're going to take each of these units, or maybe you're stuck on a certain concept that doesn't make sense and you just need a little extra help understanding it. Whatever it may be, we've got instructors and support staff to help you through this, whichever course it is that you're in, to help you get through the application and licensing process, to help you get through starting your real estate career, choosing your real estate broker, taking your post-licensing course. All these initial first steps and big changes that you'll be having to do, this is where we go above and beyond of what's in the actual courses. This is why we're here on Wednesdays as well as Fridays doing these live streams, because this isn't just some class that you're taking. This isn't just a class to go pass an exam. This is potentially an entire lifestyle change. Completely changing the way it is that you have earned money in the past, potentially. Maybe you've done something similar before, but for a lot of people, this is new to them. They've maybe never started a business before. And maybe those that have started a business before, maybe they've never started a real estate business before. So we all have different opportunities, different strengths, different weaknesses, and that's why we try to cover a variety of topics on these shows, and that's why we recommend that you take your post-licensing as soon as possible, because that's going to cover a lot of the real-world information. And speaking of post-licensing, we've got all three of these options for post-licensing as well. We've got that on-demand, self-paced, self-study type of program. So if you want to do it on your own schedule, 2 in the morning, 5 a.m., 8 p.m., whenever it is you want to log in there and do it 24/7, you can. Or if you'd prefer an instructor to actually lead you through this material, we've got that option where you could actually come to us or we come to you through the computer. And then you get an instructor-led, scheduled, in-person or virtual in-person classroom course. And again, that's for your pre-licensing as well as post-licensing. We even have broker licensing as well as broker post-licensing. I believe we have some coming up on the schedule in the fall, available with these live stream formats in addition to the on-demand formats. And again, if you have questions about this, if you're not quite sure what is going to be the best fit for you, maybe you're thinking, well, I definitely am a person that could, get in there and get it done, but I really would prefer somebody to kind of help point me in the right direction. Maybe you're looking more of that kind of persona of the course as opposed to just, just the black and white material, so to say. So maybe that's where you might prefer a live stream, where you can make it fit with your schedule. And look, ultimately at the end of the day, sometimes this isn't an option. So this won't always be an option, because especially if you've got a schedule that's really chaotic or really weird, or something where you cannot attend one of these classroom or in-person classes, sometimes this might be your only option. And honestly, if you could get in there and get this done, our pass rate, I think it's like 94-95% for the end of course exam, something like that for our on-demand course. It's a high amount, because the way this course works is you only progress to additional information as you basically unlock that additional information. You have to unlock that additional information by proving you understand the information that you've already learned. And so that process usually makes sure that you don't get ahead of yourself, whereas that could happen sometimes in your classroom or live stream courses where you might have to go back and maybe reread after a class. Or one of the things I always recommend is maybe pre-reading before the class. Or better yet, if you've got our MP3 auto review, you don't even have to read. You just listen to the MP3 auto review, maybe watch the weekend prep recording if you have our entire pass first try strategy, and use those tools to help reinforce those key points and remember what you need to remember. And then you can use the practice questions either in your course, or if you've got the question simulator, that's an even better tool for practice questions and simulating the actual exam. So that's our different course options. Again, on demand, if you're looking for something self-paced, something easy to get started at any time. And here's the thing, if you start any one of these formats and it's not working out quite for you, it's not quite right, we can transfer your registration. Now, sometimes there might be a small fee, especially if you're transitioning from one platform or system to another, because sometimes certain systems have different costs for us there. And sometimes there's different price points, like the classroom course is a more expensive course than, say, our on-demand. This is usually going to be the cheapest option, and the classroom course, the actual in-person classroom, is usually the most expensive option. So there's usually a difference in price there, because here we've got big office space for you to sit in, whereas there, much smaller little space for me to talk to you from. So that allows us to offer our live stream course, basically our classroom course, at a cheaper cost. But that classroom course is definitely a little bit more of a premium price, but sometimes it is worth kind of, the camaraderie being in the same room. We have a great, lively little chat system in our live stream courses, but, sometimes you do want to be more face-to-face with people, or you'd rather be in 3 dimensions. We don't have 3D live streaming yet, but if you got your 3D glasses at home, we'll figure that out. We'll get you in 3D so we could actually be in your home. Maybe they'll have some sort of holographic or something like that. That'd be really cool for our future live stream classes. But for right now, we're just 2-dimensional. So if you're liking watching me now, if you like watching my videos, that's more of what our live stream courses are going to be like. A more lively, more animated instructor going through, trying to make this information alive. Here, it's the interactions and engagements that are trying to make this information alive, because that's what we could do to do our part to help that information sink in as much as possible, but then that's where you got to do your part to keep holding that information in, whether that's listening to the MP3, doing the weekend prep recording, maybe you're just rereading the material in your course if you don't have any of our additional study tools. Those additional study tools are optional. They're 100% optional. You do not need those study tools to be able to pass your real estate exam. But having those study tools, we call it the pass first try strategy, because having those tools are going to get you a lot closer, if not to passing your real estate exams on the first try. It's our recommended strategy so you can pass your class exams and state exams on the first try. And whichever format it is that you have, classroom, live stream, or on demand, I would highly recommend that you invest in that pass first try strategy, because those study tools are really, that's our baby. That's what we've created here at Tampa School of Real Estate to really refine over the years to try to take as much friction out of this process as possible for when you guys are getting your real estate license, as you're going through this process. And that's the way we kind of try to treat everything, but especially for the pre-licensing process. And if any of you guys already have your real estate license or are still online with me, you know what it's like going through that initial pre-licensing process and getting your real estate license, and how that's really the toughest education portion of your real estate career. Because even if you go to get your broker license, it's usually a lot easier because you have a lot better idea of what to expect, because it's very similar to your sales associate pre-licensing. So if you've got more questions on this, if you're curious, if you want to see a demo maybe, if you want to just talk to somebody because you're not sure if even real estate is the right career for you, maybe you're not even sure how you make money in real estate. Look, if you want to learn more about real estate, this is why we do all of these videos, so you could learn more about real estate. So before you make the decision to, yes, I'm going to start a real estate career, you could already come to this conversation with much more knowledge. And that's what we know here. Not to sound cliche and cheesy, but the whole knowledge is power thing, there's some truth to that. That's important, because knowing the right things to say, knowing the right things to do will make or break your real estate career. And we want to help as many people make their real estate career as possible. So give us a call, 813-333-2676, 813-333-2676. Let us help get you on the path to starting a successful real estate business, building your real estate empire. We have advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. If you want to find out more info online first, visit us at tampaschool.com. You can actually even register for our courses online 24/7 at tampaschool.com. So go to tampaschool.com and you can view our entire schedule of classroom and live stream courses for pre-licensing, post-licensing, broker licensing, as well as our on-demand catalog of courses you could take anytime, anywhere, as long as you've got an internet connection. And again, you might actually prefer that more interactive format. What's really cool about this is, again, if you do want to know everything about real estate, there's all kinds of extra links where you can go on to different websites, and it's really easy though to get information overload. So just be careful with that if ultimately your end goal is to pass the real estate exam, because passing the real estate exam, it's not about knowing everything, it's about knowing what's important on that exam. Because you try to know everything, the things that are really important aren't quite always as clear and specific that you need to understand them to be able to be successful on that exam. So we don't want that to happen, and that's again why all of our pass, first try study tools are really tried to be dialed in to what's most important, to what you really need to know to be able to pass your exam. So look, that's all the time we've got for today. If you have questions, call us 813-333-2676. You can also visit us online at tampaschool.com. Thank you guys for tuning in today, and I'll see you on Friday for State of Real Estate. Make sure you hit that little bell icon if you like today's show. That way you get notifications. We'll be here Friday, 12 noon Eastern time. If you'd like today's show, hit that thumbs up button so we know to do more topics about our course offerings. Otherwise, leave us a comment if you still have further questions, or call us 813-333-2676. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you on Friday for State of Real Estate. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're gonna love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam, because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
Have you completed your post-licensing education yet? Look, I know you're probably thinking, hey, it's not my renewal deadline, I don't need to do post-licensing yet, but look, here's why you want to do post-licensing as soon as you've got your real estate license, as soon as you're able to take post-licensing. It's not just another course about arbitrary laws that you're never going to use again. It's about real-world, usable topics that'll help you grow your real estate business, to help you take it to the next level. Look, let me ask you this one question. If this course helps you close just one deal, If you get one extra deal from post-licensing, is it worth the investment? I'd say it is. We get paid pretty well, so one deal means a lot of money. Check out postflorida.com. That's postflorida.com for the full details about post-licensing.